A big part of farmers markets is not just the produce, it's the artisans, the crafts behind the scenes, like right here, the Lake of the Willows. With creamed honey, we're also gonna have our good friends on the Croissanterie making croissants and showing you what they do with them, and learn more about some handmade soaps.
Well, I'm Desmond Simmons with Lake and the Willows Apiary out here in Scott, Arkansas, and we're going to go over the honey source and the process of making creamed honey. Now, Joyce will be going over the actual process of making creamed honey, but I just want to kind of show you where the honey comes from. It comes from the beehives, obviously, and all honey crystallizes differently. So to make a nice smooth cream honey, we'll go through a process after we harvest it to warm it up gently to get rid of all the natural crystals in it. We have a very good friend of ours, a beekeeper locally, that's been making cream honey for years, and he kind of showed us the basic steps of it, and then we've developed our own process over the years and our own flavors, and I think we're up over a dozen different flavors already. Everything we do is in small batches. It's all artistic type stuff. It's all controlled. There's no mass production and stuff like that. So every batch is hand done. Of course, we only use the best quality to put in our honey. We always select our lightest honey to make our creamed honey. We save it all year long to make it throughout the season. The spices or seasonings that we put in there are usually all organic, or they are organic, natural honeys or seasonings. And the berry flavors that we use all come from local farms here in central Arkansas. The cinnamon, of course, is the all-around best favorite. The cinnamon goes on everything. The apple pie spice is another favorite one of ours. It goes great in coffee. Vanilla is a new flavor we came out last year with. It's just fantastic on anything.
All right, Joyce, I am so excited to be here. Definitely one of our top things at the market is your creamed honey.
Wow.
One of the first questions I get asked a lot is, what is creamed honey?
There is no dairy in the creamed honey. It is whipped. It's whipped raw wildflower honey, and what we're doing today is natural, so that's all it is.
And so what you mean by the natural, that it doesn't have any of your amazing flavors in there. So you've done some really cool things with like vanilla, which it's phenomenal, but you also have the cinnamon and the turmeric, ginger. Another favorite, the jalapeno.
Yes.
I tout that with cornbread all the time. So what do we do to make creamed honey?
Well, the first step we have to do is we have to heat the honey to break down all the crystals in it. And that's usually around 110, 115 degrees. And then we have to let it usually sit overnight. It has to be at room temperature.
Okay.
And then we pour it into our bowl, and then we add our starter honey. Starter honey can be our product right here, our natural creamed honey. Now you can also buy starter honey from a lot of different sources, but it's very important that you get a good starter honey that has very smooth flavor, because honey has large crystals in it. That's why we break it down. And so I now make all of my starter honey, but you can do that, and I'll put approximately a 12-to-1 ratio. I do small batches. So we put the creamed honey in there, and then we put this down and mix it up really good. Blend that starter honey in with the raw wildflower honey, and then we pour it in a bucket, and then we measure it and pour it into the jars.
So as long as the creamed honey doesn't get hot, it stays a spreadable consistency.
That's correct. But if it converts back to the liquid form, and especially if you've got cinnamon or something else in it, that'll float to the top. It never tastes the same after that.
All right, Joyce, thank you so much for sharing with us. So excited to get more of these goodies.
Oh, yes.
One thing that I definitely love is coffee. And anything that pairs well with it, I'm excited about. Thank you, Desmond and Joyce, for sharing with us behind the scenes of your amazing, amazing business. Hope you enjoyed it. Really excited to share this. Chef Josh with the Southern Standard first introduced me to Chef Jill and Chef Wendy because they make the Southern Standard bun. But that's not all they do. They've got the cinnamon rolls, croissants, chocolate croissants, almond croissants, out of this world. They're gonna show us how they make these bad boys and a unique way they use the croissant dough.
The Croissanterie is a food truck here in Little Rock, Arkansas, and we sell croissants, we sell cinnamon rolls, we make hamburger buns for the Southern Standard food truck.
We started a couple years ago doing just cottage baking from the house, and we started making croissants and cinnamon rolls and things and take them to like Hillcrest Market, and we're doing that, and we really got the push from the public to go bigger, to get some wheels, and so we decided to get a food truck and add some savory items. So we use our croissants as our base, and we do different sandwiches. We use our croissant dough for our hamburger buns, which we're going to feature today. We do all kinds of different products. We have the bakery side and our savory side. So we just take it out and we offer both when we used to do our setups across town.
You know, we make all of our breads. We don't buy any breads. We're lucky in that way because Wendy's a pastry chef, so she can make all the breads that we want to use. Obviously the croissant is our mainstay. We do as much with it as we possibly can, and it's a product that we're very proud of and that we can, you know, we can utilize in so many different ways.
So our croissants do take 3 days to make. It is a process, but it is done with love. You start off by making the straight dough. You mix your dough together, just barely get your contents together till it's kind of shaggy, and then you want to wrap that up and let it sit overnight in the cooler so it can slow ferment in the refrigerator. The next day we make a butter block, which is just a slab of butter, which is what it sounds like, and we add that to our dough. We fold that in and start the lamination process. We roll the dough out long with layers of dough, butter, dough. We start doing our folds, which is the lamination, and then you have dough, butter, dough, butter, dough, butter. You keep doing that. You chill it in between each fold, so you keep that butter the right consistency with that dough so you don't have melting of the butter. And you just keep rolling it until you have the desired layers. I usually do about 3 folds, and then I chill it again overnight for the second night. On the third day, we pull out that laminated dough, roll it out to about 3/4 of an inch, and we start our shaping process. And from there, we can shape it into our triangles, which are our traditional croissants. We can do our chocolate, which is our pain au chocolat. We have a new brownie croissant that we're doing, and then our hamburger buns. We cut those out with that dough, and then we proof them, egg wash them, and bake them up.
Our customer's favorite item that we serve on the savory side is the lay burger, and it's just a basic classic hamburger, but we make it on our croissant bun, and we use a local beef from Jadona Farms out of Mayflower, and it's a great quality product. And what we do is we season that beef, form it into a 5-ounce ball, put it on the grill, let it sear and form a crust, and then we smash it, so it's a smash burger. And then once we do that, we give it a flip. Once it's formed that crust on one side, let it cook on the other, flip it one more time, put the cheese on it, let the cheese melt, then we build the burger on the bun. Each burger is made exactly the same. You get mustard, onion, pickles on the bottom. On the top, you get mayonnaise, lettuce, and tomato. And it's been one of our biggest sellers and one of the things that we're super proud of. We love this. It's like the ultimate dream come true for us. We met in culinary school at Pulaski Tech, and that's kind of sort of how all this got started. Personally, it's been a dream for 20 years to have my own restaurant and to be able to do it with her, you know, my best friend. I mean, there's nothing better in the world.
We enjoy getting to go out in different locations and meeting the people. And most of our product is sourced locally. We get as much as we can from our local vendors. And so we get relationships with those people, and they get to come. We have regulars that come weekly that follow us from here to Morrilton to West Little Rock. They're everywhere, and it's just a lot of fun getting to be out there and getting to know people.
I think it's pretty evident that Jill and Wendy love what they're doing. And who knew you could use a croissant to make an amazing burger? Logan, with me and McGee Market, cancer is one of the major reasons that I've dove into the research on health all across the board. Skin is no different. So today I'm going to share some of the things that we implemented in Lander's cancer journey that really seemed to help him. Skin is extremely important for overall health. It's the main barrier that keeps us protected from the external things out in the world that might cause damage. So with cancer patients specifically, dry skin and skin issues is a common thing. With that, a lot of the chemotherapy and radiations target fast dividing cells, which is great for cancer. But it's also a lot of the skin and hair cells that get destroyed in the process too. So knowing that from my experience working on an ambulance and my grandfather, I wanted to stay ahead of it. With that, I started researching. Found oil was a really important way to moisturize. So I settled on jojoba oil and vitamin E. As that progressed, ended up having a oil made. It was having really good results, and I would keep it on his port and then his big incisions from when he had his tumor removed, and that helped a lot. So we finalized what we were really happy with. I was working with Beauty from Ashes, Carrie Miller, and what Carrie did was she started a soap company because her mother was diagnosed with brain cancer, and every type of soap or fragrance that she used broke her out. She came up with what's called Sharon's Caring Bar, and it is a non-scented, very easy soap made specifically for Carrie's mom, Sharon. So teaming up with her on the soaps was very important, things that don't break out the skin, but that oil, big deal. So our nightly routine with Lander, we got it down pretty good. So he would take a bath, I'd put oil in the bath with his Epsom salts, and then after the bath, coat his little body with oil. When he had a bald head, coated the little head, port, and incision. So after that, the unique thing that we found in a lot of the biohacking world was red light. So every night after the bath, after the oil, would get what I have is called a Juve. I don't get paid for this. This is just, I want to help other people. As he's watching TV, sitting on the couch, he would turn this on and have it. So that red light is kind of crazy. That red light would be on his belly where his tumor was the kidney, and then lymph nodes and chest wall. He'd have this and he'd sit there. So we do that about 10-15 minutes every single night. What we were finding in the research is the wavelengths do different things for our bodies. So the infrared and near infrared actually help our cells produce more energy. Backed by study, so it's not as crazy as it might sound. There's a lot of PubMed studies that you can look back on, and I'll link to that are really compelling. So oil, Epsom salt baths, red light therapy. So dehydration is another issue that leads to dry skin and the skin issues. So good high quality water. I love Mountain Valley, but pure good quality water. Lots of fluids to flush the one kidney that he had, because chemo's hard on it. The different medications can be very hard on kidneys, but that turned out to have a huge benefit on skin also. Diet's a big deal. So we very particular on his skin. And so what's really cool about all of this is that there's so many different positives across the board, and they all kind of go back to similar or the same thing. With Lander's diet, a lot of wild caught good fish. I love the mackerel. It tastes good. It's not overly fishy. You can hide it in anything. Chocolate, dark chocolate, low sugar, doesn't have all the milk and other things that we don't put in there. Very good. So the polyphenols and other chemicals, phytochemicals, good chemicals in there help boost the body. shows a lot of research is saying that that will even protect from the UV damage from overexposure to sun. Another thing that we did for Lander was he drank a lot of green tea. So his mama would get him a good decaf green tea, organic, and he was sipping on that every single day. Sweet potatoes. Sweet potatoes are high in beta carotene. That beta carotene is a precursor to vitamin A that also is going to have a positive impact on skin. So with everything that we've done, I don't know exactly what had the biggest benefit, but all of it mattered in one way or another. So these things are what we did. I hope you are able to take some of it and apply to your life, whether you have cancer or not. These are positive, health promoting things we can all do.